The activities of drones have become very rampant in certain localities, whilst many use them for video coverage in the entertainment industry. Some also use it in the agric sector to monitor the crops they plant. But there are those who also use it because they want to enjoy the pleasures of flying a camera above the ground. Whilst the drones plays a very important role in the different fields of work today, there are some who don't use these drones the right way. There are laws which govern the ways these drones are to be used and the areas to which they are not supposed to go. But are the owners of these drones respecting these laws? And are they going through the right procedure to get licenses to have these types of drones? We have had complaints in the past of some people hearing sounds only to raise up their heads to see certain drones above them in the sky. Because the drones have no way of showing where they came from, they could not identify who was behind the recording or the flying of the drone in their premises. And whilst they were unhappy about it, it was actually something to be worried about. First of all, whoever is flying a drone in your perimeter and in your areas is violating a law because without permission he has entered into your space. And with whatever he's watching or recording, you don't know what he's doing with that information. Secondly, since the drones are things that can be flown above the ground, they can easily drop anything around that you may not like. Should there be a way to identify whose drone enters a place when it's not supposed to? Should there be a way or a place to report to when you notice that someone is flying a drone over your house and recording you or always lingering about your space? These activities of these drones, especially those who have been using them for ill purposes, have to be checked. When you look at those who use it positively, you'd see that they don't look at hurting people or infringing on the rights and freedoms of privacies of other individuals. They use these drones to make beautiful videos, taking sceneries of nature, of the sky, and of views from heights that are way above the ground. We see these types of images and clips in our music videos and on air and in all the types of video footages that are shown, and we mostly admire them. In other areas, for example in the agriculture sector, when such drones are being used, they are able to let the owners of these farms have an idea of the types of crops which are not doing well and the ones which need attention. These help the farmer to no more waste time in going about looking through every single plant when he can be at one place and do that. He would also know the amount of pesticides and all the types of control medicine that are available to use. He will know the amount to purchase because he will know which ones of his plants need the attention the most. Activities of drones were new to us when they were first brought into the system. While many wanted to have them, they were not able to afford because most of these drones were priced highly. There were some drones which were so expensive they could buy 2 motorbikes. And there were some drones which were made to go as high as they could in the sky. Now, drones are owned by different people in different places with different interests on using them. For those people who like to give beautiful scenes to the types of work they do, these drones help them to get into places where they wouldn't be able to climb and ordinarily go to. These drones are technology and innovation that should be appreciated and used for good. When you have a drone, you should not use it to infringe on the privacy of another person. In other words, when you come in contact with a drone, when you own one or you are given a chance to fly one, do your best not to fly it in another person's territory, in another person's home, and to look at what is happening in the person's area. When you do that, you cause panic to such individuals who see these drones flying above their houses, and you cause them to feel unsafe. And when it comes to their notice that you are the one who is behind it, you may have some trouble coming your way. The activities of drones have brought enlightenment to our world, which before was in the dark and had no light of seeing how to make things better in our different sectors. Now, the drones have made it a simple way to get to places people cannot get to on their own. These drones have battery powers inside them which they use to fly above the ground, and they are made to withstand harsh weather conditions like rain and the heat from the sun. But now that this technology is inside our nation, shouldn't we try and make it available to those who are really going to use them for good? Why should it be so expensive that only the elite and only those who are rich and have enough to buy it are the ones who are given the chance to use them? Isn't there a way we could focus on getting these drones to those individuals who are serious about working and improving things in this nation? Then also, we have to look at the ways to keep these drones and maintain them if we could make them on our own in the nation. Knowing that they are very expensive, we could on our own as a nation make our own types of drones if we get the technology that is used to make them. A drone is simply two things that come together: a flying machine and a camera. So if we can join these two and do them in a way that it will work and last, then we will be able to get them to areas that they are needed, so that technology will be used for good and not for evil. In the past, we have heard of some of our governments and some of those in the ministries of health and the like who have employed these drones to carry some first aid medicines to people who are far away and far off. We also heard and saw how these drones were used to transport medicine and medical information to villages and to places that were far from reach and could not be accessed even by road transport. In these cases, the drones did a lot of good work, and those who were not seeing a possible chance of rescue had these drones bring relief to them. When you look at these activities the drones are going about with, you will see that more of these would have to be employed if we want to really move forward with speed as a nation. The only thing is, we have to make them only available to those who are trustworthy and to those who are going to use them for the right purposes. This is the only way we can go forward and find other ways to expand in our businesses and in all the things that join to make the economy of this nation good. When you look at those in the Western culture, their priorities placed on drones are to a large extent beneficial because they put the right planning and measurements in place before acquiring them. They don't just get these drones because they feel like flying things and using them for using sake, but they actually have careful consideration of what they intend to achieve. Then, after meticulously going through it and deciding on the right ways to go about it, they employ these drones and pursue after that which they've objected to do. These are the ways some of them build things faster than some of us, because some of them don't just get these drones to enjoy the feeling of flying something over the ground. They use it for good and for advancement purposes. But today, some people in this nation only want to have drones so that they could show off and so that they could fly about to see what is happening around them. Some people are so inquisitive, and others are so suspicious that they use the least suspicion that comes into their mind to fly a drone. When you are this way, you contribute to the people who keep the nation from moving forward, because your activities are stagnant and they are not concerned on the ways this nation will keep rolling upward and upward. This is because your focus is on only you and your immediate environment. If we could use these drones to areas where, for example, there's little facilities or little hospitals compared to those that are here, and they are few in number and they don't have some of the resources in the cities and the like, would be able to close the gap of the lives we lose in the nation. Those who have not gotten access to some of the facilities that are available in the city will now be able to look up to these drones to bring them help when they need them. If a whole village has only one clinic, it would be a problem to save as many lives as they could. But if that one clinic has access to drones and communication, they would be able to speak to those in the cities to transport some medicines and some aid to them so that they could do that which they wouldn't have been able to do because of where they are situated. And then also, we have to remember that though these drones bring a lot of good, we don't have to look at them like the only way to move ahead. There could be other ways technology could be chanced upon without necessarily relying on these drones. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.